What's up, everybody? Coming at you from Awesome Toy Show with the one and only Chris Van Vliet. Thanks so much for doing this, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for sitting down with me here.
Oh, I appreciate it. Everybody was really stoked that you were coming out today. You're definitely kicking the event up a notch. Appreciate it.
This has been fun, and it's so good to be back home. You know, I'm from Toronto, born and raised in Pickering, Ontario. It's just great to be back home.
Is you enjoying the event today then? Having a lot of fun?
You know, I would say that if we had to sum up this event in just one word, it would be awesome. See what I did there?
That's why they call it Awesome Toy Show. Now, I know you do a lot of interviews on your channel, but obviously we're flipping the script on you today, get you on the other end of the microphone there. So your YouTube channel, huge success, over 300,000 subs now, well over 100 million views, I think. Congrats, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. It's just cool that other people are watching the stuff that I'm making.
Yeah, now as an aspiring YouTuber myself, I always like to hear people's kind of origin story. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got started and like what the YouTube journey's been like so far up to this point?
My journey, I think, is pretty different from a lot of people's because my background's in broadcasting, and I was always so passionate about radio and television, and that was what I've been so fortunate to be able to do for a living. But I kind of had this moment when I started my YouTube channel in 2011 where unless you were watching the exact channel that my TV show was on at that exact time, you would never see the interview that I was doing with whoever the big star was. And I was, you know, I was so grateful to be able to do interviews with people like Samuel L. Jackson or Morgan Freeman or Tom Cruise, The Rock, whoever. So I was like, well, there must be other fans of this that would appreciate these interviews. I'm just going to throw them up on YouTube and hopefully other fans can enjoy them. That's kind of where it began, of just like, I'm going to take this interview that's not going to make it on TV, like, or only going to air once on TV, put it on YouTube and see where things go. Some of those started to really pick up steam. And then I started to kind of go out of my way of like, well, that wrestler is at an event that's an hour from my house. What if I drive there? Could I ask them to do an interview? Boom, let's do it. That's kind of where it started.
That's awesome. Well, a lot of people really connected with it, and you seem to be doing quite well. Now, when you do your interviews too, it always seems like you just have such a great vibe with them. You're always really excited. Is that because you started as a fan of their work as well? Like, does that help keep the energy up in an interview for you?
I think definitely when it comes to the wrestling interviews, like when you can speak somebody's language, and I especially learned this when I was in television, a lot of wrestlers would come in to just promote Raw or SmackDown. And then, but when you would talk to them about like, oh man, let me ask you about like Survivor Series. Let me ask you about Royal Rumble. And you can almost see them light up like, oh, I wasn't expecting like, you're a real fan.
Yeah.
So I think that really helps. But at the end of the day, we're all having conversations all the time in our life. I just don't think that, in my opinion, I don't ever want my interviews to feel like interviews. I just want them to feel like a slice of life, a slice of a conversation.
It really does too. A bunch of your interviews I've watched, seems like you're just sitting down with an old buddy catching up, right?
Yeah, and I just feel fortunate that I've even had the opportunity to do this with so many incredibly talented people. Like, I'm grateful that they've given me their time and allowed me to share it with the world.
I mean, I'm the same way right now, right? I love doing this. I like meeting people like you. It's an absolute pleasure for me, so I know where you're coming from there.
Yeah, man. Where's your hometown, by the way? I said Pickering for me.
I'm originally from Kitchener.
Oh, so I went to Wilfrid Laurier University.
Oh, yeah, I know the area quite well.
My very first radio job was at 570 News in Kitchener.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. They do like the local coverage for the hockey games and everything, too. Yeah,
the Kitchener Rangers.
Small world. Yeah, I was at the game on Friday, actually.
Wow.
Small world, man.
Wow, look at that.
Now, I got to ask you, since we're at a toy show, do you have any like cool collections at home that you have going, like any collectibles or anything you're looking for?
I've collected a handful of belts. When I was growing up and like a mega fan during the Attitude Era, I had a lot of action figures.
Yeah.
Now it's like belts, but I also want it to mean something. Like I have a poster on my wall of WrestleMania 18. The last time WrestleMania was in Toronto.
Nice.
My favorite match of all time, Rock versus Hogan. Hogan has signed that poster.
No way.
I feel like I got to get The Rock to sign the other side of it next
You
time.
got an in with The Rock, though, right? You guys go back a little.
I'm sure he'll have another movie, and I can be like, hey, would you mind? Greatest match of all time.
After the interview, just sneak in a quick autograph on the poster.
That's the hope.
That's awesome,
It's just like traveling with a big poster. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Now, do you have any big upcoming videos or any plans you want to tell the guys at home about upcoming projects?
Well, WrestleMania is this weekend, and there's a lot of people in town in Los Angeles. So, look, WrestleMania is simultaneously the best time to get content because everybody's in town, and also the worst time to get content because everybody's so busy. But I've got a bunch of interviews. The next interview I have is with UFC Hall of Famer Rashad Evans. That'll be hitting the channel on Tuesday. And then Sean Spears hasn't done an interview since he had his kid. He had a little boy, so he reached out and he's like, "Do you want to have like a conversation about like fatherhood?" Like,
oh, nice.
He just had a kid. I'm about to have a kid, so I'm pretty excited about that one. And then I got a few others that are unconfirmed as of right now, so I don't want to put them out there in case they don't happen. But if they do happen, it's going to be real good.
You heard it here first. Well, thank you very much for your time. We don't want to keep you too long, but it was great having you out here at the Awesome Toy Show.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you. Guys, make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel for some awesome content.
And subscribe here.